Hello and welcome, family, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms, family. We are in a new dispensation. So much is happening out there. Mantles are being passed for over. So principalities are coming down. Altars are coming down. And if you don't feel this new dawn, then you need to reevaluate. If your life is looking the same as it always did, then you really need to evaluate what you believe, what you know. And I just wanted to share, family, how important it is for you to know and know the truth for yourself. You see, they cursed us. One of the biggest spells over our people is the spell of, a lack of reading. Where the Babylon used to say, hide something in a book and black people will never figure it out. Because we are intuitive beings. That is not how we learned. It's actually anti to our system. Because we would just know. There were ways we would just know, and if if your spiritual gifts have been awakening, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Where you'll receive downloads and insights, and it's beyond you here physically. And it's beyond anything you could have read, like you're just given information. That's how we always learned. And we have to move into that spirit now, family, because knowledge is liberation. Ignorance is slavery. Ignorance is slavery, family. Babylon knew this day was going to come, and Babylon is a narcissistic, conniving person. They would never want our restoration to just happen just like that. And no, they set every single kind of booby trap in our minds, family. They created all kinds of crazy, warped thinking in the hope that they will, in the hope that they will take so many, break so many, distract so many from what the real revival and restoration and reformation of our people looks like. They wanted to create this divisive thinking. And I saw it when I talked about how Jesus is the Antichrist. Like, there's some people who really can't get, beyond that narrative. There's some people who are really stuck in that emotional thing and they're waiting for Jesus to pop from the sky. How do you think that's going to happen? Even if you want to believe in Jesus or whatever, how do you think that's going to happen? Because that visitation is here. Those beings are here. The Messiah is here waiting to manifest. He's already manifesting, family. But we are going to reach a point where we see the ships in the sky. When we see our cosmic family that looks just like you and I. When we can no longer deny that we are not alone. And so when I talk about breaking the religious psychosis, it's not to hurt your feelings. It's not to be blasphemous and be a false prophet and all this nonsense. I mean, that just shows me where where your level of thinking is. Because if you're not able to expand your mind to another human telling you something and go figure it out for yourself, instead of having this cognitive dissonance, where there's like a dissociation and you move to the lowest level of yourself, Babylon made the truth, has programmed the truth to put you in a situation where you're in fear. There's so many people who have walked away from religion, and they always tell me how hard it is, like how they have to fight their own minds. They have to fight their own fear because they've been indoctrinated since they were 1 year old. Since they were 1 year old, family, or even younger, they were even baptized into that about the nature of reality. And then now you're coming and telling them that whole reality is false. I can understand and understand what a shock that is to your system. But you'd better get over that shock, and you'd better start doing your own research, and you'd better start doing your own reading. Because it's nothing like what you've been told it is, family. And your mind may reject it. Your mind may go into total shock. Like, okay, Jesus is return. What do you think that's going to look like? Have you thought, how is he going to return? Have you even thought about that since you believe in that narrative? Our ancient ones are coming back in chariots of fire. Those are UFOs, unidentified flying objects, family, that are already here, cloaked in the clouds. This is where our youth is progressively thinking. That's where our youth are. And a lot of our youth, because of, an increasingly less influence of the church, a lot is just they're being awakened and prepared spiritually. So if you're in any theory or religion, it may work against you if your spiritual life is not deeper than that religious life you belong to. If you have to go to a church where they develop your spiritual gifts so you can hear from yourself, for yourself, so you can get the information for yourself, so that you can start to interact with the beings that are around you, your guardian angels, your spiritual team. And they can start to reveal certain things to you, your ancestors. Because family, we're about to take a quantum leap. And if you have not even started to expand your mind, you will shut down. Like that, it's that serious. You will shut down. If you are too in one thing it will take you out. And after everything that you've believed and everything you've overcome, it's your own mind that will entrap you, that will go into shock. So don't look at those who give you information where you feel you need to react in such an emotional way. Question that. Question that in yourselves, because that's a very dangerous way to be in this time. And you have to move beyond the concept of religion, family, because the warfare now is at your doorstep. Just as there's angels walking among us, there's demons walking among us. There's spirits walking among us that have not been able to leave, that are looking for a body that they can take over. That's why you'll see some people will die in a quote-unquote car crash or whatever, and they come back and they're a totally different being. Some even speak a different language. They have totally different tastes. The food they liked before, they don't like anymore. Knowledge is your liberation. Start to look at some of those ideas, even just as a research thing. Now knowing how much the Jesuits control the world, it kind of trips me out that my ancestors took me to a Jesuit university. But one thing about the Jesuit university family is they had this like spiritual foundational courses. And you had to like you couldn't just do like, Roman Catholicism or whatever. You had to take like a Buddhist class and all these other different classes on different kind of spiritual practices. And actually at that university is where my awakening really started to take off, to the point where, I had to even move off the campus and move like to downtown Chicago because it was just too crazy, family. But if the Jesuits who are ruling the world want their people to understand all other religious concepts, want their people to know what Buddhism was about, want their people to understand the religious, the Indian spirituality, want their people to understand Chinese spirituality, the spirituality of dragons and all these things, then who are you? Come on, family. And that's why a lot of spiritual leaders who are stuck in one kind of religion or another are going to have to ask for the faith, not to be the gatekeepers of their people from learning the truth. And they may even be required to take a back seat and listen to the new dispensation, the new voices that are coming through. And it's all about the women. So much has happened, family. I was even watching, someone sent me a clip of how T.D. Jakes passed on the mantle to his, daughter. And some are saying, why not the son, why not the other daughter? Because it's the age of the woman, family. I haven't even been able to talk about how India now has a president who is as dark as you and me. I think she's even darker than me, family. Because they understand, and India is also rising again. I'm not even going to go into that. But they understand the times. Even the divided kingdom, if you looked at the elections that happened, it was between an Indian and a woman. That should tell you, because it's all a game of chess, it's all a game of charades, that those are the two kind of rulerships that they feel are coming into play right now. And they went for the woman anyway. But the whole charades of also having the Indian man there. Because, a lot of people's eyes are on China, but India is just as big and doing just as many things. There's also BRICS. And this is just going now into too much politics, but, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, that want to now start to create their own new world order. But family, you have to expand your thinking and test the spirits. That's why I always say, for anyone who's learned anything from me, my bottom line thing is grow yourself spiritually. Learn to discern yourself. Learn to hear the Spirit of the Most High for yourself. Get in touch with your guardian angels. Get in touch with your spiritual team. Connect and make sure that you hear your spiritual team. That is where I always put my focus. I'm always like, get yourself spiritually in order, spiritually amped up. And that's why for me, I can't knock the evangelicals, because they're the ones who really brought me into my gift of prophecy and my gift of healing and everything. They're the ones who triggered that in me. And that's where I saw it the most demonstrated. But they're going to have to pray for the grace to allow the Spirit of the Most High to really come in, to be the ones that don't limit what the great revival means, what the great reformation of our people means, family. And for you guys, anything that triggers you, because the real scholars, the real spiritual high-level beings that I have encountered, and I've encountered some really high-level spiritual religious men and women, they're ready to debate you because they know their faith or whatever. They know what they believe. They're ready, but they're not going to be like, you're going to be damned in hell, repent, and all these things. And that's where our people go. And that is so kindergarten, family. You can't operate on that kindergarten level of spirituality. Like, you can't afford to do that. And what's happening is, because the children are being awoken, the youth are being awoken in their dreams, in places that you're not there. They may not be able to tell you that they're seeing things, that they're feeling things, that they're having prophetic visions about what's to come in the family because of your religious psychosis. That doesn't mean it's not happening. And so the only person you block out from this new dispensation is yourself, with your limited knowledge. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. There's a lot of great books that people have been suggesting. I'm going to compile a list and share them with you, like Dr. Ray Higgins, etc., etc. Until next time, family. Tuko pamoja.